Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
So, Jeff Horn, the WBO welterweight world champion, will take on former unified world champion Terence Crawford. Of course, former unified at the lower weight of 140 pounds in a very weak division, let's be honest about it. Now, the press conferences have been kind of boring, to be honest. My kind of highlight is watching that guy sat next to Terence Crawford going, "Word time, yo. Word time, yo. Word time, yo." I don't know what his role is. Eating pies. The guy's hench. He's massive. I have no idea who he is. Is he a trainer? I wouldn't have thought so, but if he is, damn. Anyway, so there's been like a fair bit of trash talk. Terence Crawford, there's like a lot of talk about him being a small fighter, going into the ring, comparing him to Manny Pacquiao, how Jeff Horn roughed up Manny Pacquiao, how Terence Crawford going to get on with being roughed up. And he's right what he says, where he says that, well, I'm just going to do my job and the referee needs to do his job. In other words, hey, ref, help me out. But we know that's going to happen anyway, right? We know that the referee is going to be quite plainly in the pocket of Bob Arum and Terence Crawford. We know this. And Jeff Horn knows this too. And I've got a feeling Jeff Horn's going to get frustrated. Every time he throws a punch, he's going to get accused of throwing a headbutt or a drop kick. The referee's going to dock him points for punching Terence Crawford. You know that's going to happen. Terence Crawford, he's going to keep on turning his back on Jeff Horn. And Jeff Horn is going to carry on punching him. The referee's going to give him warnings. Then he's going to give him docking points and frustrate him. We know all this is going to happen. Jeff Horn is not allowed to use MMA tactics in this fight. Why? It's a fight, right? Anyway, so yeah, he did rough up Manny Pacquiao. He did use some illegal shots, no doubt about it. But Manny Pacquiao has done this himself in the past, and Terence Crawford has done this. All fighters have done this, right? But I think because of the shock of the fight, Manny Pacquiao against Jeff Horn, it was highlighted a lot more. Why? Because Manny Pacquiao fans didn't like the fact that he lost. It was a shock result, right? Now, Terence Crawford is a different kettle of fish. Whereas Manny Pacquiao is smaller than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford, he's not really that much of a small welterweight. Not really. Because don't forget, it's not like he's walking around and like 140 and he has to eat himself up to 147. I mean, that dude sat right next to him, word time, y'all. He's doing all the eating for him quite clearly. But you know what? He has to go down in weight each time. Okay, so he goes down to 140 pounds. He went down to 135. And he's going to have to come down to 147. So it just means he doesn't have to cut as much weight. 7 pounds, let's be honest, not exactly a couple of stone now, is it? It's not exactly several kilos. It's not. So it's a case of who wants it more on the night. It's a case of, is the referee going to be neutral in this? Is the referee going to be paid off to be biased towards Terence Crawford? Because what they want ultimately is Terence Crawford against Errol Spence Jr. and Keith Thurman. That's what they want. They want all American shows and that kind of thing, which is great in a sense because they would be big fights. There's no doubt about it. But where there's boxing, there's money. Where there's money, there's corruption. So I do worry that Jeff Horn is going to get screwed over during the fight. And if it goes to points, I can't see him winning on points, even if he dominated Terence Crawford. I can't see Jeff Horn coming away with that title at all. But what Terence Crawford has to do is use his speed, use his skills, and keep away from Jeff Horn, because Jeff Horn will keep on coming forward. But with Jeff Horn, he's a very, very tough, rugged Australian coming to fight. Don't let that softly spoken accent fool you. He is rough, he is ready, he is coming to fight. Okay, you know, he may look like a bit of a poster boy. He doesn't really look like a boxer, right? But he's coming to fight and he's going to put it on Terence Crawford. He's not coming there just for the payday to lay down. Although if he did, to be honest, I wouldn't really blame him because he has, you may argue, what, overachieved because he wasn't supposed to beat Manny Pacquiao. Okay, he wasn't supposed to be WBO world champion. But I have a feeling that Bob Arum, he knew that Pacquiao versus Crawford wasn't going to happen because both sides wanted too much money. So the best way to do it was get the belt off Manny Pacquiao. And obviously Jeff Horn, he is a top-ranked fighter while he's in America. I suppose he is as well while he's in Australia as well, but I think he's more Duco, right? So either way, if the referee's going to be impartial in this one, for me, Jeff Horn's going to win. I haven't seen enough about Terence Crawford. He got hurt against Gamboa. He did beat Ndongo. Ndongo, I never ever rated him. I don't know why people did. People talking about how it's the fight of the century between Terence Crawford and Ndongo. No, it weren't. Everybody knew that it weren't. Everybody knew Ndongo ain't that good. Okay, and he was exposed in his last fight, was he not? Right. So, who else did he beat? Ricky Burns. I like Ricky Burns. I really like Ricky Burns. But he's never a world elite athlete. He never was. Again, you could argue that Ricky Burns was an overachiever as well. Very tough, but he's a British level fighter, and that's the truth of it. And I like Ricky Burns, I really do. But Terence Crawford hasn't beat nobody. Why didn't he ever fight Adrian Broner? You know, why didn't he do that? Why did he outprice himself against Manny Pacquiao? Again, you could probably argue, why did Manny Pacquiao outprice himself against Terence Crawford? But this fight is going to be an interesting one. As I said, I can't see Jeff Horn coming away with a win. Because the referee, I think the referee and the judges and Bob Arum are all going to be colluding together. I don't think Terence Crawford's in on it at all. But I do feel, though, that they will try and screw Jeff Horn out of that title purely because they want the big fights. As I said, where there's boxing, there's money. Where there's money, there's corruption. That's just the way it is. Now, I'm not trying to get in excuses for Jeff Horn. You know, Jeff Horn's come out with a few already himself that he's not happy with the top-ranked gym. But, of course, he can always change that. You know, Kevin Barry, he's got a gym over there. I don't know whether or not he's been using that over in Vegas. Floyd Mayweather has a gym, so he didn't have to use the top-ranked one. So if it's too hot in there, I don't know, go outside or go use another gym. That's what he should have done. But for me, he did go to the States a little bit too late. But again, he was messed about because this is a rescheduled fight. Terence Crawford pulled out because he had a boo-boo. And personally, I don't believe that he was injured at all. He got scared or Bob Arum told him to pull out because the tickets weren't selling. Because let's be honest, the promotion side of this hasn't been that good. Let's be honest. I don't really know exactly how it's been in America, but I'm not seeing too much. Other than like Fight Hype and things like that on YouTube, you don't really hear about it anywhere else, do you? So I don't know quite how this fight's going to do. This is going to be on an ESPN app, I believe, where you've got to pay, was it $5 or something? Not too sure. But it's an interesting fight. And if the referee's going to be impartial on this one and allow the odd illegal move from both fighters, then for me, Jeff Horn wins. Jeff Horn can take a punch. I don't think he's too good taking punches to the gut. So if Terence Crawford wants to maybe drop Jeff Horn or puff him out and maybe stop him in the later rounds, then he needs to work on his body. So maybe that's probably what's going to be his plan, to be fair, because he can take a good shot on the whiskers. He can. But ultimately, who knows? I mean, maybe Terence Crawford is going to increase his power. Of course, he's saying that at 147, he's much stronger. But how do you know? Until you get in that ring on fight night, when the adrenaline is running, your heart is pumping, how do you know? Because when the pressure's on, he may end up folding. Maybe Terence Crawford's going to quit. Maybe Jeff Horn is going to make him quit. Don't know. Maybe Jeff Horn's going to quit. I wouldn't have thought so. He's a Chuck Norris slayer. You know, Jeff Horn can beat the Terminator, you know. But can he beat Terence Crawford? This is the question. This is the one that needs answering. I like this fight. It's a fight that I was kind of hoping was going to happen. But we all know that Terence Crawford is there because he sees Jeff Horn as the weaker champion. He could have chose WBC route, IBF route, because he's unified champion at 140, right? He could have chose which one he wanted to become the mandatory for to get a shot. He chose WBO. Why Bob Arum? WBO, for whatever reason, he's got a good personal relationship with the WBO, so there is that one. But personally, I think it's because they view Jeff Horn as an easier option to get a belt back around Terence Crawford to make him a 3-weight world champion. Did nothing wrong with that. If it works out, fine. But for me, as I said, if the referee is going to be impartial, Jeff Horn has got this. That's just my opinion. Could be wrong, but ultimately, purely because we don't know how good Terence Crawford is going to be, because he hasn't been in there with anybody who's literally going to fight. I think probably the last time that somebody actually came to actually put it on him was Gamboa, and you know, he got hurt in that fight. So anyway, drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, let me know who do you think is going to win, how are they going to win, all that kind of good stuff. Catch you all next video, subscribe.